What's up, everyone? This is Brian from Submission Red doing another video update. Sorry for being so late about this. I forgot to do an update last week. I'm not sure why. I just kind of forgot about it and shrugged it off. So I'm going to be doing an update for both last week and this week. So in the last video that you saw, it included I mentioned that my family was in and they were visiting and all that, and we had about a week off from we had about a week off after our show on Sunday in New Jersey, or no, in Fulton, New York. And so we just kind of chilled out and chilled at the host home that we stayed at, which was a friend of Pastor Pete's, and we all went, like the band went to go to Niagara Falls, and we saw Niagara Falls from the New York side, because you can see it from either the New York side or the Canada side, but we weren't going to cross the border into Canada because we didn't have passports and all that junk. So we went and saw Niagara Falls from from New York side. And one of the days that we went over, we all went into the city and just chilled out in the city and went to this gigantic Toys R Us that was there and all that. And just that week itself was just kind of hanging out, just chilling out and hanging out, going to different places and doing different things. So just enjoying the week that we had off. And then my dad ended up staying with us to help out with driving and help out with extra hands and all that for shows and stuff. So it was cool. It was cool to have him there to have some extra help. So we went and had, I think, 2 shows that weekend. I don't remember where our shows were, but we had 2 shows. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, one of our shows. We had one show without Manic Drive just because they couldn't make it because they were still in Canada, and then we had another show a day or 2 later with Manic Drive, but it was their last show on the tour because they were going to be doing their own tour with their own production that they were scheduled to do. So they went and we had our last show with them, and that night was pretty funny because it was Sean's birthday. He's the singer from Manic Drive. So it was his birthday, and during our set, for any of you guys that have seen our show, we have a song called The Ticking Clock, which is when Yvonne goes and she starts like beating on trash cans to the beat of the beginning of the song. So in that show, the entire band, like the entire Manic Drive band, came out and they took actual like plastic trash cans and started just beating on them with us. And we didn't know they were going to do that. That wasn't planned at all. They just kind of did it as a surprise prank type thing. And then Sean comes out with a drumstick and a small cymbal on top of the drumstick and has another drumstick in his hand and is just going in and hitting it at random times. So the 2 other guys in Manic Drive were going and beating on the trash cans and coming around the drum kit and like beating on like random things in the drum kit. Not really like trying to be disruptive or anything, just kind of being funny. And they were kind of staying on beat. But it was pretty funny that that happened. So we the entire time we're just sitting there and cracking up. And we decided that night we're gonna get them back because they pranked us. So what we did in return was, as a part of Manic Drive set, they have these two inflatable, I don't know what they're called. They're like inflatable, like wavy arm, the inflatable wavy arm men ghost things. And that night they didn't have them because they left the majority of their stuff in Canada, except for like their guitars and stuff. So they didn't even bring their drum set that night just because they were going to go back to Canada that night anyway. So there was no sense of taking a rest in Canada, coming back down for one night with all their stuff, and then going back to Canada. So they just they just took their van, and that's it, and their guitars. So they didn't bring their inflatable stuff. So what we did was, on their last song, at the very last chorus, all four of us came out on each side, and we just basically pretended to be the inflatable things. So as soon as the chorus dropped, we just went and we just started like flailing our arms, jumping up and down, and they're just sitting there like, "What are you doing?" But like everyone was laughing, and it was hilarious. And during one of the songs, Ken from 7 Day Slumber comes out in Manic Drive set and has like a cupcake with candles on it because it is Sean's birthday, and he has him blow it out. And in the middle of the song, he continues to be in there, and he just starts feeding everyone the cupcake while they're playing. So it was funny. So that was a fun last night show with them. And I mean, I wish they were still on the tour just because they're fun guys, and they're fun to be around, and they're great. But we're gonna miss them, and it's gonna be good without them. Well, not that we'll be fine. But then we had a few days off after that. We came back to Arkansas and took a few days off, stayed in a host home that we stayed in early on the tour, and we're still here actually. And our last night will probably be tomorrow night in this house. So we've been treated very well and very nicely. It's been really fun. But we played about 4 shows in a row. We played in Arkansas, Oklahoma, I think Arkansas again, and then Louisiana, I think. I believe it was. I don't know, something like that. So we played those 4 shows, and our first show in Arkansas was our first show with the new band Havenstance that hopped on the tour, which we knew we had heard that they would be on the tour since the beginning because their names were on the videos and the flyers and stuff like that, but we weren't sure when they were going to hop on. So they're finally on, and they just couldn't do a lot of the driving from the previous tour. I mean, from the previous weeks. So they just hopped on now, and they're pretty good. They're cool. They're a good, cool group of people. So I've hung out with each of them individually on a couple of occasions, and I mean they're the newest band right now, so we're still kind of getting to know them as well. But it's fun to have them in 7 Day Slumber, just going and hanging out and having fun together. So, but um, we had some good shows the last 4 days. Um, two of our shows were really good. Just they're really solid and they're really fun. Our show in Oklahoma was great because we played on. I mean, it wasn't like it was a huge church because it's in the middle of Oklahoma, but the stage itself was gigantic. So we're just looking at the stage, and there's so much space. Not that that matters to me because I'm the drummer, but there you can just tell that they can do a lot with what they have there. They can do a lot with it. And one we stayed up with there is one family that we stayed up with till like 3 in the morning there because we ended up actually sleeping at the place at the venue because there was a back room that had like a bed and a pull-out couch and a lot of room to deal with. So we just ended up sleeping there, just asking if we can sleep there, and they gave us permission. So that being said, we we really did. We packed up all of our stuff because we were going to get up the next morning and leave, but we didn't have to move or anything. So we just had all our stuff packed, and everything was just kind of easy. And there's a family that just kind of sticked around that we were talking to for a while, and they were really fun to hang out with and talk to. And we basically stayed up with them till like 3 in the morning, and then we came back to bed, and then hit the road to like Louisiana or Arkansas or wherever it was. I think it was Louisiana, but no, it was Arkansas. But anyway, you can come in. Okay. But anyway, the next night was a really fun night too, because although it wasn't a big space, it was kind of like a smaller room. When we played, it sounded gigantic. Like the crowd sounded gigantic, and there was a good at least like 200 people there, but a lot of the people that were there, they went and once they had learned some of the songs that we were singing and stuff, and it was the times where they were singing the lyrics, they were just blaring. They were ridiculously loud. It felt like there was like 5,000 people there. So it was really cool to see that. And there was even some points where they would just yell and scream for no reason just because they're excited. And I, as the drummer, I have click tracks and I have like tracks and stuff in my ears with audio samples and stuff. And so I go and follow that, and with them screaming and yelling, they were actually they were screaming on top of all the tracks and stuff that I had in my ears. So I was actually hearing them. I was hearing them over what was in my ears, that's how loud they were. And I have it up pretty loud in my monitors. So that's just saying something. So that was a really fun night, and that was a really good show. And then the last show we played was was in Louisiana. I think, right? Louisiana? You sure? The retirement home, whoever? I don't know where it was. Oh, he says Oklahoma. I say Louisiana. Someone's probably gonna say Arkansas. We don't really know. Is it Arkansas or Louisiana? Because I know we played Louisiana. No, it was Louisiana because I was like, oh, we'll go see Swamp People.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. It was probably... I think it was Louisiana, but we could all be wrong. So, but anyway, the reason why I said retirement home was not because it's actually a retirement home. It's because when we played, all that was in the crowd was like, it was only like 15 people, and they were all like old. So they were all like in their 80s, like in their 70s and 80s, and 90s and above. And then there were maybe like 2 or 3 kids, and that's it. So it wasn't like a fun night. Like, we still tried to have fun with it, but it wasn't. I mean, needless to say, it was not very, and the crowd wasn't very energetic, except for like the few people, like my dad and some the techs and stuff that were just kind of making it fun, and Bruce and Terrence. So that's, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm okay with that, because I'm okay with playing a show with 5 people or 5,000, because whether or not, like, how many we play in front of, we're still doing it for the same reason and all that. So it was still fun to just be there, and we got food, and like we have been the last all of our shows actually. But my dad finally left yesterday. No, this morning actually. My dad left this morning to fly back to Florida and get back to work and get back to life. And I mean, I'll be seeing him and my family in like a month, so it's all good. But we'll have to get used to there not being like a second driver and like one extra hand of help and stuff. But we'll be fine, because we did it throughout the majority of the tour anyway. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not sure where we're playing next. I think we're playing somewhere in Arkansas. I could be wrong. No. Yes, we are playing in Arkansas. We're playing Crosset, Arkansas tomorrow. So that'll be fun. But that's pretty much it. Sorry for posting this super late, but this is video update 5 and 6. So see you next week.